Today we are comparing two of the leading hollow-bodied irons of 2025 in the form of the TaylorMade P790 and the Srixon ZXi4. Two irons that sit into this hollow-bodied category, aiming to combine feel, looks, distance and forgiveness. Okay, so this type of iron is looking for a lot, but it does, for me, sit into that camp of the large majority of golfers, you know, that kind of mid to high single figure handicapper, all the way up to sort of 15, 20 handicappers. So it's a broad range. Okay, so, you know, certainly the TaylorMade P790, this has been super popular this year, 5th iteration, so it's been super good. You know, looks fantastic. There's the tech in there as well, but it still has that kind of player's look. And then we've got the Srixon ZXi4, again, looks really good, very powerful iron. In that sort of playing position, you can see a distinct difference in terms of what the companies are going for. TaylorMade are definitely going for that sort of player's look whilst having that kind of forgiveness built in there. Srixon, thicker top line, definitely looks to be aiming more at the sort of forgiveness element. But if I was to pick looks, well, for me, P790 looks great, doesn't it? Very premium. But I think if you're a higher handicapper looking for this hollow-bodied club, I think you'd prefer the looks of that sort of ZXi4. Okay, so let's hit a few shots with each club. We're going to compare all the sort of key numbers, see which one's going to be best for you. Okay, so starting with this TaylorMade P790, looks very, very premium, looks great. Testing's been great this year. You know, we've sold quite a lot of sets, you know, been super popular when it comes to sort of club golfers. And, you know, let's hit a few. I mean, they've tried to continue with similar tech, making sort of small adjustments. Still got that speed foam there, still got the speed pocket in there. Forged face for both of them. Yeah, very nice indeed. Just to make it clear though, guys, this is 30 degrees, pretty strong. ZXi4 28.5 degrees. So clearly we know that's going to give us more ball speed and more distance. But we're looking at this as a whole. You know, sometimes stronger lofts aren't always a good thing. Yeah, just feels so good. Spin number is okay there, you know, about 5,000 is what we'd expect. Nice and straight on those first two. Just a smidge heavy. Yeah, that felt hot. That was good. Yeah, so a good one seems to be going about 170 carry-ish. Spins okay, you know, 5,000, exactly what we'd expect. It feels great. Can really sort of feel that forged face, but kind of almost within that, you can almost, it sounds a bit hollow as well, but you know, I like the balance that they've sort of got in there. That was right off the bottom. That's an interesting one to look at there, because I felt like I really mishit that, but bear in mind the good one was like 173. That was still 164, so there's a good bit of forgiveness in there. In a way, I'm quite glad I hit that just to sort of see how it came out, and it wasn't too bad. Again, not great on the strike, but again, it's, in my mind here, you know, this type of golf club is going to be aimed at a golfer that's not going to be super consistent all the time. But one criticism of previous models of this was that you would get the odd flyer. Okay, I found that in good players, you know, they'd hit what they thought was, say, a 170 shot, and it's all of a sudden pitch 185 and you through the back of the green. I'm not seeing that on this club. I'm seeing some consistency from the spin numbers, from the carry numbers. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, so 8 shots there, mixture of strikes, but all in all, really good products, you know. We can see why it is so popular. TaylorMade created this sort of hollow-bodied category, and you know, let's see how Srixon stacks up against it. Before we get into that, if you would like a free swing analysis, simply follow me on Skillest. The link is in the description down below. You will get a full analysis of your swing, along with me demonstrating exactly what you need to work on, including some drills to help you reach your goals this year. Back to the video. Okay, so into this Srixon ZXi4. Looks great. You know, I like the family of the ZXi this year from Srixon. You know, there's an obvious similarities really in terms of looks wise, but we can certainly see, you know, the forgiveness of this. You know, they're really trying to hone in on the forgiveness distance, I would imagine, with the 28 degrees, but it's got the looks as well. And that you know, if you're maybe a mid-teen handicapper, you don't want the cavity back clubs, but you want something a bit better looking, bit better feeling, hopefully, this could be a good option. Okay, so let's hit a few. Yeah, straight away you can feel it. 170, pretty solid and felt good. You know, this iForge construction that they're talking about, you know, really trying to get some nice feel with this club. A little bit off the bottom, 161. So yeah, good forgiveness in there. Only dropping off a little bit. Again, just a fraction off the bottom, but nice and forgiving. I like it. You know, I think this feels more inviting on the eye. If you're wanting to sort of move on from your cavity backs into a hollow back, but you're not sure about the jump, this feels like quite a nice option for you. You're getting the looks of a more of a player's iron, but it's got this forgiveness in there. Just pulled it a touch. Yeah. Nice and solid. So far so good, guys. You know, for me, performance doesn't feel like there's a lot between them. Looks wise, I do think there is a lot. You know, I think if you're a high single figure golfer and you're not a great ball striker, this feels good. If you're perhaps a good ball striker but you don't want to go down to that muscle back category, then I think P790 is going to be a good option. So though there's the same category, I actually think it's probably a slightly different golfer. That felt great. That was a good one. Decent ball speed there, 119. Good carry, nice and straight. That's the key thing as well. Yeah, solid. This feels great, must admit. Feels really, really nice. As I said, I don't think there's going to be a lot between them. Oh, that last one really didn't get hold of, unfortunately. But again, it's quite straight. I don't think there's going to be a lot between these. I think looks, as I've said, are different, but I think performance is quite similar. Let's take a deeper dive. Okay, so we've got the TaylorMade P790 in the white, ZXi4 in the orange. Nothing between them, is there? You know, if you're looking at the circles, yeah, you'd probably say P790 slightly smaller, but in reality, there's really no differences there. That kind of overall dispersion is very, very similar. And now just looking at some of the numbers. Club speed, 84, 85 on both. Ball speed, exactly the same. I actually thought the ZXi4 might have produced quicker ball speeds with that kind of lower loft, but doesn't seem to be. Both like 116. Launch angle the same, 19 degrees. Height, 93 and 95. Spins almost identical, isn't it? Around about 5,000. And look at the carry there. 167 for 176 with the Srixon, 167.8 for 177 with the TaylorMade. Side plus or minus 27 feet, plus or minus 22 feet with the TaylorMade. So numbers almost identical, guys, which is very rare, but that, you know, performance wise, pretty much exactly the same. My recommendations, if you're a slightly better ball striker, for me the P790 would be good. If you are a slightly higher handicapper wanting to dive into that hollow-bodied category, for me the ZXi4 looks and feels a little bit more forgiving. If this is your first time watching the channel, guys, please don't hesitate to subscribe. I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon.